The film opens on a long international flight bound for Madrid. Manuel is a businessman from Oaxaca. He is charming and easy with conversation, the kind of person who treats a 12-hour flight as an opportunity rather than an inconvenience. He keeps a travelogue of places and dates of things he still wants to see. There is a lot still on the list. April is a flight attendant working the cabin. The moment Manuel sees her, something shifts in him. He manages his way closer throughout the flight, finding excuses to talk, asking about her job and her life, making her laugh with a story about an argument he once overheard in a plane bathroom. By the time the plane is beginning its descent, they have kissed. They make a plan. She will find him at the tapas bar just past the terminal in a few minutes once they both clear the airport. April writes down her number. The colleague she is working with raises an eyebrow when April tells her. It feels like the beginning of something. Manuel never makes it. Customs stops him at the terminal. His luggage contains several bottles of mezcal, more than the allowed quantity. He has all his documentation in order, but the officials detain him for questioning regardless. He cannot leave, cannot get word out, cannot reach April. Meanwhile, April is waiting at the bar with her colleague, watching the time tick down. She has a connection to Amsterdam in 4 hours. Her colleague promises to come get her if anything goes wrong. Nobody comes for Manuel. April waits as long as she can, then has to leave for her next flight. Just like that, before either of them could do anything about it, they lose each other completely. 7 years pass. Manuel is married to Lara, a photographer whose work he admires in a fond, slightly distracted way. They have a daughter named Rita, 4 years old, who loves music. April is married to Bruno, a Colombian singer, and they have a son named Felix, also 4. April stopped flying after that trip and spent the years since building a domestic life, but something has been pulling at her. The sense that she left a version of herself at 30,000 feet that she has not quite recovered. Now that Felix is old enough to manage without her for a few days, she goes back. Bruno is generous about it. He encourages her to reclaim what she loves and promises to take Felix to the park every day until she is home. Lara, in Manuel's house, is absorbed in a new photography project that has her excited and quietly busy. Both marriages look solid from the outside. April boards her first flight in years and heads to Buenos Aires. She checks into her hotel at the same moment as Manuel. They are both at the front desk simultaneously. A coincidence so precise it does not feel like one. The hotel clerk writes their names down on adjacent forms. Manuel spots her first. He crosses the lobby and asks if she remembers him. April pretends she does not. Says the name means nothing, that she meets a lot of people in her line of work. But she does remember. She has never forgotten him. He tells her he spent 2 years looking for her after that day at the airport, calling the airline, asking about the flight crew on that specific route, every approach he could think of. He never found her because they had never exchanged full names. He only knew her face. Now he knows her name, April Navarro. And she knows his, Manuel Pereira. They share a courtesy drink in the hotel restaurant and fall quickly back into the warmth they had on the plane. The conversation comes easily, too easily. They show each other photos of their families. He shows her Rita, his daughter. She shows him Felix, her son. They talk about their lives, their partners, the ways the years have shaped them. Manuel is present and attentive in a way that is different from simple politeness. He cannot stop looking at her the way he looked at her on the plane. And April notices. He engineers reasons to stay near her. When she mentions she is heading to an antique market the next morning, he rearranges his entire schedule without hesitation and walks with her through Buenos Aires. At the market, April spots a red woven bracelet at one of the stalls. She examines it, considers it, sets it down, and keeps walking. Later, without mentioning it, Manuel goes back to the booth and buys it. While they are still wandering the stalls, an old woman at another vendor's table begins speaking rapidly to her grandson. She is gesturing at Manuel and April. The grandson, slightly embarrassed, translates. His grandmother says she can see the red thread between these two people. He explains the legend she is referencing. An old man who lives on the moon comes down every night and searches among all the souls on earth for those who are destined to find each other. When he locates them, he ties them together with an invisible red thread. Time does not break it. Distance does not break it. Obstacles do not break it. If two people are meant to be together, they will find their way back to each other no matter what comes between them. Manuel dismisses it immediately. A story for tourists, he says. The kind of thing vendors say to make people feel romantic enough to open their wallets. April is quieter about it. She does not argue, but she does not dismiss it either. She thinks about this woman who knows nothing about them, who cannot possibly know about a plane 7 years ago or a hotel lobby the day before. And yet, she takes the red bracelet when Manuel produces it and ties it around her wrist. They dance tango that evening. She confesses she has never danced it properly and steps on him 3 times, which makes them both laugh. She tells him she had forgotten what it feels like to travel like this, to feel free, to feel like herself outside of her role as someone's mother and someone's wife. He listens to all of it. He is watching her the way he has been watching her since the hotel lobby. That night, Manuel invites her to stay. She stays. In the morning, she wakes in his room, and the full weight of what she has done settles over her quietly and completely. Manuel beside her seems to want the night to keep going. She knows it cannot. April ends it before it becomes something she cannot walk back from. She tells Manuel they have to say goodbye properly, that they have families waiting, that this cannot be the beginning of anything. Manuel pushes back. He says he wants to be with her, that he has wanted it since that plane 7 years ago and the years have not changed it. She asks him something he cannot answer cleanly. You cannot love 2 people at the same time. If he loves his wife, what is this? If he loves April, what has his marriage been? He cannot find the words. She walks out. Manuel goes back to Lara, but he is not the same. He keeps trying to reach April. April returns home to Bruno and Felix, still carrying the guilt. She does not confess immediately. She comes back, plays with Felix, makes macaroni and cheese for dinner, watches Bruno work. But her son had been sick that night while she was not there. She does not know this yet, and when Bruno mentions it in passing, something inside her shifts completely. She tells him the truth. Bruno does not explode. He falls apart, which is worse. The argument that follows is long and specific and devastating in the way that arguments between people who love each other always are. On Manuel's side, it goes differently. He comes home ready to confess, but Lara does not give him the chance. She sits across from him and asks, quietly and specifically, what has been missing in their marriage. Not as an accusation, but as a genuine question from someone who already knows the shape of the answer. She leaves before he has to say anything. Both marriages end. The damage on both sides is too specific to repair. Manuel and April do not run to each other. That night they do not see each other at all. And April disappears again before he can find her. She remembers what the old woman at the market said: if the thread is real, she does not need to chase it. If they are meant to find each other, they will. She holds this thought like something fragile and useful and walks away from her home. The film ends.